Hey everybody. I've been getting a lot of questions regarding pick slides lately. It's not something that I really ever thought much about. It always came fairly easy to me, but I feel like I just kind of got lucky as far as just the way I went about it, right at the start anyway. That being said, I don't nail it every time. There's plenty of times where I flub it real bad. But I want to at least show what I feel makes it a little bit easier, what tends to produce a better pick slide every time. Now, a general rule of thumb, the bigger the gauge of string, I feel like the better pick slide you're going to get. Now, if you're using like nines, nines typically have a 42 on that low string. I'm using a 10 to 52. Even on just regular 10s, it usually goes to a 46, but this is going up to a 52. And what that means is this is a little bit thicker, and the winding is a little bit thicker, which means there's a little bit bigger grooves in between each wind. And that just kind of lets you grip a little bit more with your pick. And not only that, but having a thinner pick tends to help a lot. When I started getting back into the Blink-182 cover and stuff like that, I was kind of going towards the smaller picks just because that's what Tom would use, and it suits that sort of music a little bit better for faster strumming, faster pickings, that sort of thing. And it really does help with pick slides. I mean, I'm typically using a thicker pick, and I do tend to notice it's a little bit harder to get it to go. So let me show you how I do it. Some people will do it, backhand like this. I tend to do it forward like that, but as long as you're really hitting the string, basically perpendicular the whole time. So that's how I notice it to sound best. You don't want your pick to be at like an angle like this, because you're not really digging in. You want it to be pretty much straight across the string. And I tend to not hit these extra two strings. I usually go for that lowest one. Some people will just go for all of them or whatever they hit. And that's fine too. It just kind of gets a different sort of sound. I feel like just really digging into that lowest string tends to help the most. So let's see what it sounds like. Let me turn this up a little bit. See, some of those sounded a little bit different because I was kind of getting at different angles. That was a pretty good one. And a lot of times you'll see guys doing like a slide with their hand, like their left hand or their fretting hand just before it. That tends to add a little bit more to it, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, that's really all I do. I mean, it does take some practice. It's not something you want to just do sloppily. I mean, like even a lot of those punk guys, back in the day, they at least knew what they were doing. I mean, a lot of times they may be jumping around and having fun or whatever, but if they really wanted a good sounding pick slide, they went for it. It's not something that they just kind of just sloppily did. So just to kind of go back over the points real quick. Thicker strings tend to help. A thinner pick tends to help. Let me show you what it would sound like on a thicker pick. This one is a 0.96 millimeter. That was a 0.60. That was actually not that bad. This is a brand new pick though, so it's pretty sharp on the edge. But I have noticed, a general rule of thumb, the thinner picks help. Do try to get perpendicular. If you go on an angle, whichever way you're going, either overhand or underhand, as long as it's perpendicular, it usually helps. And just kind of digging in, like pushing into the string, seems to help a bit too. So if you're just grazing over it, it's not going to sound as good as if you're really digging at it. So that's just kind of going over it, and then that was me really digging in. So hopefully this helps. I don't really know how else I can really go into it a bit further. I mean, I've just been having people asking how I get mine to sound good, and I don't know, there's not really much of a science behind it, but that's what I do. And I don't know, hopefully this helps. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Other requests for little technique videos, let me know. I'll see what I can do. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.